Well, listeners, as you know, this week we have been taking a listen to the brand new single from Emily White, and we know that you guys have loved it because you've been requesting it. So we thought today we would actually get Emily on the phone to talk a little bit about this single and also about the album that she has coming out as well. Welcome to the program, Emily.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me, David.
Not a problem. Now, Emily, we've been playing the new single all week, and our listeners have been absolutely loving it. So I was wondering if you could start off by telling us a little bit about the single and what inspired this single.
Of course, of course. Patsy Cline, let's start there. I grew up with any kind of classic country. Patsy Cline, Tammy Wynette, George Jones, all of the classic country artists. And so I've been heavily influenced by Patsy Cline, and she's one of my favorites. So it was only natural that my first single would be a Patsy Cline.
Yeah.
So we did She's Got You, and it turned out wonderful. It's got that nice classic country feel, and everybody is loving it, which is really, really wonderful.
Yeah. Because a lot of people in Australia are only just discovering you as an artist, tell us a little bit about your background. So you grew up listening to a lot of classic country, is that right?
That's it, yes, sir. All the classic country artists.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that time in your life. Were you listening to that from a very, very early age, and did you dream of becoming a singer at an early age as well?
Oh, of course. I actually grew up in a household with musicians. My mother was a recording artist in Nashville with Tootsie's, and she was signed on with them, so she was out and about doing a lot of shows every weekend, and I was really exposed to music my entire life and growing up, and so we had musicians over all the time, and I was always along with Mom in Nashville at her gigs, so I was exposed to it at an early age, and I guess that really heavily influenced my music now, my classic country, and how much I love it was because I grew up with it in the household. And when I was about 9 years old, there's a little story I'm going to tell you. I was about 9. And we were living in Columbiana, Alabama at the time. And Mom was singing at Liberty Day, and they were all in this flatbed trailer. And I was out front, in front of the trailer, playing with the boys and football, and just having a good old time out there. And she brought me up on stage to sing "Crazy" by Patsy Cline. And that's kind of the moment that I knew I wanted to be a singer. And I just loved the crowd and singing to the crowd, and it kind of changed my perspective on what I wanted to do, and it shifted to playing classic country music and singing classic country music and playing guitar and playing piano and just kind of really immersing myself in country and music in general. So I started off really young, but I was blessed to have a mom who really exposed me to music as a child.
Did you feel nervous getting up on stage that young to perform, or did it just feel really natural for you?
Oh man, it was really, really natural for me. Like I said before, I was with Mom all the time, and she would bring me up on stage with her, starting at a very young age. I always sang "Crazy" by Patsy Cline in B flat. Yeah. That was my go-to song, and every place she'd bring me up to sing that one song, it'd always be "Crazy." And so I started real early. And real young, so I was kind of used to getting in front of crowds. I didn't think anything of it, and I didn't get very, very nervous, but as I got older, I guess I got more nervous when I got older. But when I was 9, 10, 11, 12, I really just got up there, sang my heart out, got back off stage, and started doing kid things, playing football with the guys and just playing. I didn't really think too much about it.
Yeah. How old were you when you realized that this could be a career for you, that you could be a recording artist?
Wow. That was kind of the dream growing up, is to be signed and make an album and play my music. So I started taking it seriously when I was about 16, 17 years old. I was playing shows, and I got my own guitar, and I was out booking gigs and playing these small town venues, restaurants, bars, and things like that. And I started getting noticed. People started noticing me and trying to figure out who I was. I started playing bigger shows, and that's when I kind of took it a little bit more serious. Instead of a hobby, I started pursuing it full time. I started putting all of my time and efforts into music instead of everything else I was interested in, you know?
Yep.
So I was about 13, 14 years old when I really, really started headstrong into music.
Yeah. Now, I'm very jealous because I've always wanted to go to Nashville, and this was supposed to be the year, but now we're in lockdown, so my trip got cancelled. But tell us a little bit about what it was like. Tell us a little bit about what it was like growing up in Nashville at times with your mother's career as well.
Well, I hate that you can't go. It's a wonderful place. It's a ghost town right now. I've been seeing so many pictures. It's just nobody's up there, which is insane because those streets are always packed, especially on weekends. It is just like New York City, shoulder-to-shoulder traffic up there. But it was, Mom was up there. She was playing she played a lot of gigs. She played a lot of shows at all the bars up there and things like that. So, but it was a really great time growing up. And like I said, I didn't really get too nervous when I was at Tootsie's. I remember I sang a song with Jimmy Snyder up at the downstairs at Tootsie's.
Yep.
And there's pictures of me. I think I was 9 or 10 years old. And when I was younger, I didn't really understand the people that I was meeting. I didn't really understand the amount of clout they had in the music industry. I was just a kid going up there singing and having a good old time.
Yep.
But I went to the studio with Mom when she was recording her album, and it was a surreal experience. Looking back at it now as an adult, I see how pivotal that was in my life. That was a very pivotal time with me deciding what I wanted to do, and it made a difference. It made a difference now. Being an adult, seeing all those things growing up when you're a kid, it changes your perspective on what you want to do.
Yeah, yeah. And how have you found lockdown? Like, how has it impacted you? Because we've been in lockdown here now for 7 weeks. First time in my career I've ever had to record my show from home. How has it impacted you? Like, what changes have you had to make in your life, and how has it changed how your album is coming out as well?
Oh, yeah. A lot people really don't think about musicians being affected, you know, and along with everybody else, there's so many people that have been affected during the lockdown, especially, well, everywhere. In the States, Australia, I can imagine, in the UK, everywhere, musicians' gigs have been canceled or postponed indefinitely. I had a lot of things set up. I had a lot of shows, a lot of events. I had to judge a few things, and they all got canceled or postponed, and we're still waiting to hear back from them. So I'm dead in the water right now when it comes to my gigs. But what's so great about social media, all these musicians are kind of coming together on Facebook, or they're on their YouTube channels, and they're filming things live, and they're kind of singing to the audience from their homes.
Yep.
So I've been trying to do a few shows here and there that way, and it's been difficult. It's been really, really difficult, but I was blessed. I've been so blessed here because my mom and dad, we have property here in Mississippi. It's about close to about 90 acres of land.
Oh, wow.
And it's wonderful. We got 2 ponds. We call it the hippie hole down there. It's just a little camper, and we pitch tents up there and have campfires, and I get in my paddle boat to go paddle boating around. So there's not a lack of things to do here.
Yeah.
So I don't ever get bored. I find inspiration in everything here to write music. So I've been really blessed to have a place to go outside instead of being stuck in 4 walls in a house, you know?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm really, really grateful for that. And as for my album, it's at a standstill for me right now because I'm not able to go to Nashville and put down vocals and things like that. But I've been communicating with Fred Cannon and Rose Drake and Paul Bono on my album. So phone-wise, I've been calling them. They've been calling me. We've just been back and forth talking and really trying to figure out what to do with the album and make do with what we have at the moment. So we're still pushing. We are still trying to get this album out, releasing singles during this whole quarantine, really trying to keep everyone up to date with what I'm doing and give them new material, even though we're at a standstill right now. So it's been really hard. I never expected it to happen. I don't think anybody really did.
No,
but,
definitely not.
Yeah, we're trying to make the best of it up here, and I have wonderful fans. I have wonderful family, and they're all so very understanding. And I'm very grateful, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for you. This is my first interview out of the country, so this is a big deal.
Oh, wow. I was going to ask, like, when everything kind of settled down, would you consider coming across to Australia to somewhere like the Tamworth Country Music Festival, which is our big country music festival here?
Absolutely. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for the quarantine to be lifted and I'll be able to travel, because I've never been out of the South here in Mississippi. I've never been out of the South. So I'm so excited for y'all really enjoying my music and my classic country, and I'll be able to travel and sing for you guys. I'm very, very excited. So I'm definitely up for that. Of course.
And during the lockdown, have you found that it's been easy to write music, or have you found creativity's kind of been sapped out of you? Because I know for some musicians, this has turned into a great writing time. I spoke to a band yesterday who said they've written enough music for 3 albums while they've been in lockdown. But for you personally, what's that been like? Have you been able to write?
I think it's really great. I mean, it gives you time to self-reflect and really look at yourself, and it gives you time to not be distracted by everything else. You're stuck at home and you can't do anything. So what better time to write, And like I said before, with all of my acreage here and all of the nature and all my family that's here that I'm quarantined with, there's a lot to write about. And my mom is a wonderful songwriter as well. So writing is easy right now. So it's best to take advantage of it while we can, to make the best of a bad situation, and just really focus on, there's a lot of great things to write about, and there's a lot of sad things to write about. So it just depends on what you want to pick. But it's a good time to start writing and really focus on who you are as an artist. And I've been taking it as it comes,
Definitely. And like you said before, artists are suffering financially because they can't get out there and do shows at the moment. How can your fans support you right now? Aside from getting your singles, what else can they do to support you right now?
What's really great, whenever I go to my Facebook Live, or you can go to my YouTube channels and keep up with me there. But when I do my live events, I have a lot of my fans and my friends tipping me, because I have a Venmo. And so whenever I'm playing for them, they can send me tips while I'm playing, or that's pretty much the only kind of income that I have right now aside from my single. So I'm trying to get some merch together. I just finished up designing a logo, and so I'm looking to get some hats out, some shirts and things like that. So definitely keep updated on my website, emilywhitemusic.com. And I'll be posting some merch up there, hopefully soon, within the next few months or so. And that'd be a wonderful way to support. That'd be a wonderful way.
Awesome. And for all our listeners out there, we'll actually put a link to Emily's website as well up when the podcast goes up. So you'll be able to go onto that site and take a look at what the merchandise that Emily has up very, very soon as well. Emily, thank you so much for chatting to us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And we are so proud that we've been able to play your single on our station.
And I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for having me and playing my record. And I look forward to interviewing again with you.